You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? It is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome to the show. If you're into anime, nerd culture, and video games, then you come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is episode 319. Got a few things I want to discuss with you guys. I hope everybody had an excellent Father's Day to all the fathers out there in the land, all the gaming dads, if you will. But yeah, man, I just got through watching the season finale of Demon Slayer, aka Kimetsu no Yaiba, and I fucking loved it. I loved it to death. Anyway, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Also, Ubisoft had an event called Ubisoft Forward. They also had Capcom. They had a Capcom Showcase. And we got some updates on Final Fantasy 16, also some Starfield stuff, man, I just want to talk about. So let's get this show on the road. It's not going to be a very long one. It's 3 a.m. We have relatives here kind of visiting, and everybody stayed up extra late till 3 o'clock in the morning. I was waiting for everybody to go to sleep and die down. So now I think everybody's asleep. Hopefully everybody is. So I can get this done. That's kind of what you got to deal with sometimes as a podcaster. If you are a podcaster and you're listening, you know how it goes. I shouldn't even have to explain it. But to all the ones who don't, it's not as easy as just turning on a microphone and starting to record. That you have to make sure that everything is right, the mood is right. If you have kids and all of that, you have to take all of that into consideration. Because one fuck up, one foul, somebody can just walk past you, come in, anything can happen, and you have to edit the fuck out of it, or you have to find another way to fix it. So yeah. But anyway, that's another conversation, another topic. Let's get into what went down this past week, what I was doing. And I'm going to start with my anime watch list, and that has not really changed. It's been Kimetsu no Yaiba. That's Demon Slayer. And it's also been, Hell's Paradise, those two right there. So I went ahead and finished that, caught up with Hell's Paradise. And then we had a special episode for Demon Slayer, and they said it was supposed to be 70 minutes long. I don't know why it said 70 minutes. It was only like 51 minutes in all. So it technically was a little over 70 minutes for me because I didn't catch the last week's episode, and I waited because I assumed it came out on Saturdays, which most anime that I watch do for the new episodes. And I got that kind of mixed up, and it actually came out. Demon Slayer comes out on Sunday. So that's where I thought something was up when I went to go see it Saturday, and it wasn't there. So what happened was that was the case. I waited until tonight to go ahead and watch it all in one swing, and I'm glad that I did that. It was excellent. I loved the episodes, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen I know what's going to happen because I kind of ran through the manga, but I want to see it play out in anime form. I just want to see what they'll change, want to see what might be a little different. And it's just, I'm an anime guy. I love my anime. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have to wait some time, of course, but I want to say that we're coming up on the final season. I don't know that for a fact, but the way everything's lined up compared to what I saw in the manga, it looks like we are approaching that. I'm not going to go too into detail on this anime season finale, just in case some people haven't seen it, because it literally just came out today. So if you guys haven't caught it, and I'd advise you guys to go catch it. And I know how it is. Sometimes you mean to watch certain shows and you have it on your list to watch, and for whatever reason, something happens, you don't get to it. And it happens to me all the time. Trust me. I've been trying to watch anime and get caught back up on a lot of stuff, and I just haven't had the time. So I try to squeeze it in when I can. And I was definitely not missing this season finale, and I wanted to check it out, and I finally did, and it was excellent. It's everything that you guys probably assume it will be. It is a chef's kiss, all of that shit. If you're into dark fantasies and you haven't even seen Demon Slayer, you don't know what it is, or you've heard it, you've seen it around, but you haven't watched it, then take it upon yourself to definitely go to your Crunchyroll account or I think it's on also, I want to say Netflix as well, but check it out there as well. And just check it out for yourself, man. I promise you won't be disappointed. It is a little bit on the dark side. It has its moments, and some people aren't into that, and that's fine as well. But if you are, and if you are curious, you're definitely doing yourself a great disservice if you're not watching this anime, okay? And I'll leave it at that, man. I don't want to go spoil anything. Like I said, it's just so many great moments, especially the end. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Tears roll down my face. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not ashamed to admit that some of this anime out here is so powerful, man, that, I mean, movies can't do that to me, man. I don't, movies cannot do that to me. I can't think of a movie that's made me do that. There's a few anime that I can actually name that just make you feel the way that I'm describing to you right now. I mean, I don't know what it is about anime. I think that's why I love it so much, because it just brings that out. And I'm not even an emotional kind of guy like that. So that's kind of crazy, man, how anime just keeps me in my feels. But it is what it is. Definitely check it out. It's worth every fucking minute. And I'll leave it at that. Now let's move on, guys. We had a lot of shit pop off this past week. I thought we were done because we had all the major shows, and we technically did. All the shit that I'm about to talk about now, guys, is basically just fodder for the most part. Now, we did get a couple dope updates on some of this stuff, but a lot of this stuff was rehashed, and slight changes were done, and that's about it. I got real excited at first when I said, Ubisoft Forward, they're going to have some shit, and they really didn't. Not like I thought they would. Same thing goes for the Capcom Showcase, which, I thought we were going to get something different, something new, and we really didn't. We got a little bit. We got a trailer, which was dope, and I'm going to talk about all this stuff, guys, but let's start off with Ubisoft Forward. Ubisoft Forward came around, and basically they rehashed a lot of things that we already saw. They went into a little more detail on certain titles. They did announce Skull and Bones, which is going to have a closed beta. That's going to be August 25th through August 28th. If you guys were interested in that game was supposed to come out. I don't know how many times they delayed it. I want to say it's been delayed at least 2 times, if I'm not mistaken, but it's a game that I was never really interested in, but maybe some of you guys may have been. So definitely, if you're interested, you want to check out that beta and try to get in, be my guest. It's very hard to get into closed betas, and it almost never happens. So good luck to you if you do want to do that. Anyway, next game on the list here is an anime, actually, and something I'm interested in only because it's cut from the same cloth of one of my favorite games or DLCs from a game. And this anime is called Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. Okay. Now, if you don't understand what that is, it's based off of a character or a universe in a game that was a DLC to another game, Far Cry 3, which was a dope game in itself. But the DLC is like one of my all-time favorites, Blood Dragon. Okay. If you haven't played that, it's out. It's available everywhere, I think, right now. And it may be free on Game Pass, if I'm not mistaken. It still may be on there. I don't know if they took it off or not, but definitely I had it on the PlayStation 3. I need to go back and replay it. But it was just an awesome game. You played an awesome character. You played a cyborg guy who was, he had all the tropes from the old 80 movies, the cheap, cheesy 80 movies and stuff. But it was so beautiful, man. It was so awesome. And all I can say is this anime looks pretty cool. Okay. And it's based off of that. It's in the same universe, and it's coming in Netflix. and I'm interested in it, so if you're an anime guy like me, hey, this might be something you want to check out, and we'll see what happens from there. But this was announced there. Also on the list, I also have, what is this? Okay, we got a bunch of mobile games. Let me throw that out there now. We had a bunch of fucking mobile games. And look, I'm not a mobile guy. Some of you guys may be. The new generation seems to tend to roll more towards mobile games, and it is a billion-dollar business. There are a lot of games that people play. A lot of women play a lot of these games as well on their phones. And my son, who's 10 years old, he plays, half of his gaming is done on a tablet. Okay. He plays a shit ton of mobile games. So I can see where they're going with this. It's a business choice, a business decision. And I was just a console guy raised as a console guy, and I never really got into the mobile games. I told you guys, I think last week, that there was one mobile game that kind of piqued my interest. It's based off Final Fantasy VII and all the events that took place there. I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, man, I haven't really looked at too many mobile games, okay? Unless it's a remake of a game, or they've done an old game like from an older console or something, and they put it on there so you can play it like that, like an RPG or something like that. Chrono Trigger, games like that. I can understand that, and I've played some of those. Also, on my tablet, I've got a PlayStation game, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I actually have that game on my iPad, and it's cool because you can automatically link the PlayStation 4 controller up to it, and you can probably do Xbox too, I'm not sure. But yeah, I play it like that. But these are games that have already been out on consoles. They're not like new games off of mobile. I hate screen controls. Now, if it's a game that's out and they allow you to connect the controller to it, they may be different. They may intrigue me a little bit, but right now that's where I'm at on that. But they have announced a lot of these games, and a couple of them are fucking based off of Assassin's Creed games. Okay, you have Assassin's Creed Jade, and you also have Nexus. So one I think takes place in China, and the other one I can't remember where it takes place at, but they're both mobile games, and they're Assassin's Creed games. So I will check them out graphically. I will check them out review wise and see how they play and see what the stipulations are. Because for me personally, most of the time when I hear mobile game, I think of a lot of ads and everything that comes with that. Now, there have been games that, you buy it for a premium price, not a premium price. You buy them for maybe like 10 to 20 bucks, some of these games, and then they're actual games with no ads and stuff like that. I definitely want to take a look at that and see how that works. But right now, as it stands, I'm cool where I'm at. Just for you guys that don't know, or maybe you may have been interested in Assassin's Creed stuff, period, and you want to experience everything, you can definitely check that out. The Jade and the Nexus games that'll be coming out on the fucking mobile game devices. Okay? All right. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed Mirage, which they showed and has a lot of people pretty hype, especially all the OG players who, really got into the old Assassin's Creed games, the first ones that came out that was based off of, your typical assassin stuff. And they did state that combat is going to be a last resort in this game. They want combat to be the last resort. Yes, you can fight and you can do what you want to do, but usually an assassin is trying to get the fuck up out of there. If they're caught, if they're exposed, look, we're getting out of here. I will defend myself if I have to, but if I'm sitting somewhere and I have 5 to 6, 7 people running me down, I'm going to run. I'm not going to sit here and try to fight you guys, because most likely what's going to happen is I'm going to get overpowered and get killed, even though I am a skilled assassin. But I'm not trying to fight a number of different people to try to survive. I'm going to get my target, and then I'm going to get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they want to really implement in this game, and a lot of people are here for that. They want that back. They want to be in that type of world, and they don't like the new adoption of the RPG elements that were kind of instilled on the recent games that they've been coming out with. And personally, like the Odysseys and all of those games, I really dig those. I prefer that style of play, the open worldness and just so many missions and things to do. That's just how I feel. And, you're always going to have people who like one version or the other. Mirage comes out, it goes out on a sale or something, I would definitely probably end up picking it up for sure. Because I did enjoy the older Assassin's Creed games. I remember when they first came out and I was a big fan of them. But then when they started implementing the RPG stuff, I just dig that more. So to each his own is what I say. No, there's no wrong answer for this, depending on what you want to play. I'm looking forward to the one with the Japanese backdrop based off the ninjas and all of that. I've said this numerous times, and that's probably not coming until late 2024 or 2025, if I can remember correctly. It's still a ways away, but I'll be there when that comes out for sure. Also, they showed the Avatar game. Okay. I haven't seen the movie. I heard it's out. I heard it's pretty good. It's a 3-hour movie. I haven't seen it. I'll probably eventually watch it, I guess, but I was never a big Avatar fan. I remember when it first came out, it was just really not, it wasn't for me, if I'm being honest. It just wasn't. And I never got into it. Kind of like the Pokemon thing. There's a lot of Pokemon fans and people who love Pokemon. Some of my best friends love Pokemon, grew up on Pokemon, but it just wasn't my thing. Pokemon came out around the same time Dragon Ball did, and it was really scarce when it came out. I remember at first, but I sought it out. Like I went and grabbed magazines. I kind of did whatever I could do to get my hands on anything Dragon Ball. I was so curious about it, and that kind of was my obsession for the next few years when it first started coming out in the West or whatever. So that was my obsession, and I really didn't do the Pokemon thing. But it's all good. I mean, everybody has things that they love and adore, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Cause I'm sure there's people out there who don't really, who aren't really checking for Dragon Ball, and that's fine too. It's all good. But let's move on to the next game. And, I'm sorry. Let me just finish with this Avatar game. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself here. Their game has, been announced for December 7th, 2023. Okay. It's a first person action game. It's a shooter. I don't even know what to call it. I'd say action adventure, if that makes sense. I don't know. RPGs might be a little stretch, but it's probably got some elements of that in there as well. We didn't get a lot of gameplay. It was just a trailer. We got a couple minutes of what it was going to consist of. Of course, as time progresses, we'll get more and more information on that. I'm not really a first person guy like that. There's certain games I will play, and for Avatar fans, they're probably going to eat this shit right up. Like I said, that is probably the reason why I'm not really interested in it. And on top of that, it is a first person game. If it was third person, maybe that might sway me a little bit more. It's not for me. I probably won't be getting it, but you guys may be interested. So that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention, so you may check it out. Okay. December 7th. So it's this year. I mean, that's good news, right? Okay, now the last game I want to talk about is a game that at first I thought it was cool, and I talked about it last week with you guys. And I'm talking about Star Wars Outlaws. Okay, we soon as I got done with that podcast, like the next day, I want to say, we got the Ubisoft thing happening, and then they gave us a pretty good deep dive into this game. Okay, the devs were talking about it, breaking stuff down, and we got some extensive gameplay on this, and it really turned the tide on me wanting to play this. I always wanted to play it. Anything Star Wars, open world, I'm here for it. Okay. And now, especially, I think that's more prominent because I really appreciated what was shown. It wasn't that long. I want to say maybe 10, 15 minutes or something like that, but it was just long enough to get me interested about this game. Okay. It kind of reminded me of like a GTA. It has some GTA-ness to it. Like you can go hop on hoverboards and, shit like that, and take off and ride around the city, and you have your own personal ship, which I forgot the name of it, but they gave it a name, and it's her personal, her personal ship, and she has her sidekick, which is a cyborg who wears a fucking trench coat. I don't know why he wears a trench coat, but he does. And then her little pet, I forgot his name, but she has her little crew, which is not very big, and you go out and you just do shit. You steal shit, and you do what you got to do to survive. And that's, I think, what this is mainly about. She's doing things, and she does what she has to do to survive. I don't know what the main story beat is. We don't really know that right now, but I'm sure that stuff will become more apparent once you start playing the game, and they'll start revealing that type of stuff to us as we get closer to release. That's pretty much how it always happens, guys. They announce a game, and it may be a year down the line or more. And then as we get closer, we get more and more information. It looks, to be honest, if I'm being honest, it looks like they've put a lot of time already in this game. It looks, if I'm being honest, almost complete. It looks like it doesn't have long to go, but it has to have some time left because we haven't got any release date windows or any information about that. So we know it's not coming out this year. Let's get that out of the way. 2024, I'm guessing it could possibly come out 2024. So I'm going to say late 2024. That's just a placeholder. It could be early or mid, but we won't know until we get closer and closer. I think we'll hear more about this game as we get closer to the end of the year. And then we may even get a release date then, before the year is over for like a 2024 and an actual concrete release date, because the game looked really done. And like once they showed the stuff, you can tell that they've been working on this for quite some time. It looks pretty good. I'm very interested. All she has is her pistol. She has that. And apparently that actually grows and it's upgraded as you progress, and it has a lot of different functions, believe it or not. From what the devs were saying, we didn't get a chance to see any of that, but that's what we were told. And her pet actually has an ability to like grab weapons and shit, like other weapons and stuff like that. So we'll see. It looks like a shooter, a third person shooter action adventure game, if that makes any sense. So from what I saw, okay. And it looks fun. It definitely looks like something I would play. Definitely love her so far as a character. She seems very interesting, and I'm sure we'll learn more. We'll get more gameplay and all of that the closer we get. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that. That was the last thing I wanted to discuss. And, Ubisoft looks to be doing a pretty good job with this. Hopefully they don't drop the ball, because Ubisoft can be hit and miss sometimes with some of their games. I love most of their titles for the most part, but they are known to drop or lay an egg or two here and there. Okay. Also, we got a resurgence game, which is Division, which is another mobile game, of course. And like I said, these mobile games are going crazy, man. I'm waiting on some more Division stuff. Apparently there is some Division stuff that has come out. A friend of mine has it already and has been playing it. It just came out, and it's the next 3 months. They're dropping something every month for the next 3 months, supposedly. So if you have played Division before, I'd advise you guys to maybe re-download that when you get some time. But like I said, be careful, because it does take up a lot of fucking space, like over 100 gigs, like maybe 115, 120 gigabytes. It's a fucking huge game. And if you don't have the space, you got to make space. And just make sure you're going to play it for the long haul. But if you haven't played a Division game and you're curious about it or whatever, you can get it for the low. And I highly recommend picking that up and playing it. It may be free now. If I'm not, it could be free. I guess the base game could be free. Don't let me get to lying, guys. It's been a while, but I have so many great memories on the Division. It's a third person shooter, and it's one of the only online games that I play or played in the past. You can develop your own certain builds. There's all kinds of stuff that customization you can do with your characters. You can play solo or you can play with a group of friends. It's fun. It's a lot funner with friends, but it's still fun it's still plenty of things to do, and it's still pretty fun by yourself, because I've done it. And I had a build called a grilled cheese build, which was just basically it would put people on fire. It would light people, fire bombs. I would light people up, and it was just pretty fun to play. So I'm looking forward to playing that. I'll probably be playing that in July, mid-July, jumping back on that with a friend of mine, and hopefully we can get some other people to come in and join us and partake in some of the stuff that they added to the game, But it's going to be a while, because, like I said, there's a lot of games coming, and I had to finish Final Fantasy first before I consider anything, okay, with that. And then it's a big game too, so I got to make sure I have space, because I don't really know. I think, to be honest with you, July is going to be a dry spot. July, because I was looking at games that were coming out, and there's really nothing that I'm interested in, at least, or anything major coming out in July. Now, we have some August stuff, but July is kind of dry, which is surprising to me. That may be a time to go ahead and, like I said, go to your backlog and find other games and stuff like that and get busy on those. And then once August hits, then it's on again, because you have August and you have September. There's games coming out in both those months, that's going to be crazy. And even October, there's stuff coming out. There's Mortal Kombat coming out, I think, in October. There's Starfield coming out in September. What else comes out there? Lies of P is also coming out the same day that Mortal Kombat comes out. But if you have Game Pass, it's free. So I'm definitely going to go back to Lies of P, man. I watched some stuff. I think I talked to you guys about this last week, but I watched some stuff, and it's better than I thought it was going to be. It's better. I only played it up to the boss, and it was kind of bare bones there, but the game doesn't even get started until after the second boss. Like, literally, shit opens up. Your skill wheel doesn't open up until then. All these things happen. So I'm going to get back in there and see what I can do. And it may be something that I am definitely going to play now, especially now that it's on Game Pass. And I had forgotten that it was coming to Game Pass, so I won't have to pay for it. So definitely is no reason that I should not download it, right? So I'll definitely think I'll definitely give that one a shot and play that one eventually at some point in time. There's still so many games on my backlog. I think on Game Pass, there's so Persona 5 Royale that's still there. I'm not taking that off of there because I'm going to play that this year. That is my resolution, to sit down and play that. That may be a July game as well. Like, yo, open that back up, jump into some of that stuff over there on Xbox before the Starfield drops. Because when Starfield drops, trust me, everything's going down. And I'm saying that. I'm glad to say that. I'm glad to be able to say that. And I'm going to get to that. Trust me, I'm on a side tangent. But anyway, let's get started. Let's just jump from Ubisoft. Let's get off of that and let's go to the Capcom Showcase, which was fucking dead in my opinion. It didn't have a lot of shit going on there. It really did, man. But they did give us some information on a game that I, had forgotten about so long ago. But it was a game called Pragmata. Okay, and it's an action adventure game. It looks like you're a soldier of some sort and you are protecting this girl, this little girl. Okay. It kind of reminds me a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit of BioShock, how, it kind of gave me that BioShock kind of vibe, but just barely. But yeah, it's an action adventure game and it was supposed to come out this year. I think we first got a glimpse of it in 2022 or 2021, actually. And then it was supposed to drop this year. And then they dropped the trailer, which was really smart and really cool how they did it. Okay. The trailer told everybody basically, look, this game has been delayed indefinitely. We're sorry, but we just want to give you guys the best experience. But they literally handcrafted a fucking trailer for this because it looked like just a cinematic trailer. And in the cinematic trailer, at the end of it, there was like this napkin or this scarf that fell to the ground, and on it had writing saying that we're sorry. We're going to postpone it. We're going to delay the game, but we'll be back. So I thought that was cool. And it's also cool that they're letting people know that they haven't given up on the game. It hasn't went to, video game heaven or hell. It's still here. It's still in the works. We just want to make it the best experience as possible. So that's cool. And it's a Capcom game. So Capcom has a lot of shit going on. They got a lot of teams on a lot of things. If I'm being honest here, probably they got a lot of stuff down the pipeline. So yeah, I see great things coming. Capcom has really been knocking it out the park though lately. They've been doing their thing and they hadn't really missed in a while. So to get this delay, most people understand. Most people have forgotten about it anyway. There's so much stuff out here. So it's not going to be that big of a deal. There's so many other things down the pipeline if you're a gamer to play. So it is what it is. And hats off to them guys. I hope they get everything together and I hope the game comes out awesome. And I have faith that it probably will. So that is what that is. But anyway, let's get on to the next thing. And the only other thing that really piqued my interest that they really talked about here that they didn't rehash from the other event that took place was the information on Dragon's Dogma 2. We got a gameplay trailer, okay? And the only thing that really just popped out at me was that they were telling us that it's going to be 4 times the size of the original, okay? It's going to be a bigger game. Of course, most of us assumed that it was going to be a bigger game. We got a whole new system and we have more things to work with. Your ceiling is way higher than before. So yeah. And the trailer though was pretty cool because I noticed a lot of landmarks or a lot of places that looked really familiar in the first Dragon's Dogma game. It looks like it's going to be taking place in the same area. So my question is, I'm wondering how they're going to expand this and make this bigger. That's the question I'm having. It's going to be interesting to see and find out, but I definitely can't wait. That is one of my favorite RPG games, my top 10 for sure. And definitely my favorite Capcom, one of my favorite Capcom games is Dragon's Dogma, I'm sorry. And you can still go play Dragon's Dogma. If you haven't played the first one, you can still go experience that game. You can probably get it for a really good price. I have I want to say HD version of it for the PlayStation 4. And I'd recommend going to get that if you guys have that. I think it's on Xbox as well. So you should not, if you're looking for an action RPG, you should definitely check this one out. It's got a great mechanic on it which is like this kind of like a buddy system where you can create a character and then they can go out into the world. Other players can actually literally go and hire them and have them ride with you and help you in your adventures and vice versa. You know, you can do a lot of cool shit with that. And they're definitely implementing that in the next game. And they said it's going to be like no other. Of course, the technology has been leaps and bounds, up in the game now from the last time. So the AI, they said, are going to be pretty much identical to actual player. You'll think that you're running around with an actual player. Okay. And that has yet to be seen though. That has yet to be seen. We have to find out and really see for ourselves, because AI can only go so far, but we're going to find out. And a lot of games, I'm looking forward to the AI in Final Fantasy 16 as well, and how good that goes and how good that works. So it's a lot of stuff, man, to be excited for if you're a gamer, and that is one of those. Dragon's Dogma 2 is something I've been waiting for so long, especially since we didn't get the Dragon's Dogma Online, which they had in Japan. We never got that after Dragon's Dogma, and it was just, I wish I could have took place with that. I wish we would have had that here. I don't understand why we didn't get that, but it is what it is. We got the second game, and I'm ecstatic about it. Now, let's move on. Let's talk about some updates here before I get out of here, guys. And I want to talk about first the update, Final Fantasy 16. You know, we got to talk about that. It comes out this week. I will definitely be talking about it next week with you guys, what I've done so far. I'm not going to spoil anything. I promise you guys I won't, because I know that everybody who wants to get the game will probably not have the game day one for whatever purpose. Maybe you're saving it for a payday. Maybe you don't have time to play it now, but you still don't want to be spoiled on it. And I'm going to wait. I usually wait a few weeks, 2-3 weeks before I start spoiling shit, and I always give warnings to make sure you have a chance to get out of here if you don't want to hear it. And I'll be doing the same thing with this game. Okay. But this is my most anticipated game this year. I think I've told you guys about this so many times. And I just can't wait to play it. You know what? This is, and I have to be honest with you guys, Starfield is a little bit too now. And, once that information came out, and I'm going to talk about Starfield here in a minute. This game here though is definitely up there. Okay. I've been looking for a Final Fantasy game like this for so long. This is like it feels like this is my personal Final Fantasy game. Like they made a Final Fantasy game just for me. Like if I had to pick one, and don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy VII Remake is awesome as well. Please don't get it twisted. That game is amazing. It comes close, but it doesn't come as close to this game here. I'm talking about the mature rating. I'm talking about just the dark fantasy-ness of it all. I'm a big Berserk fan. If you guys don't know what that is, Google him. Okay. Google Guts. His name is Guts, but it's just got a lot of stuff in here. Game of Thrones, like I said, it has a lot of references from Game of Thrones in here, and I didn't catch it at first, but the more and more I watched it and the more and more I played it, I realized, this shit is straight up, this fucking dude Clive is straight up Jon Snow. Like straight up Jon Snow. If you guys don't know what Jon Snow is, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, let me say that first. Go watch that shit. Oh, fuck these dogs. I thought I was going to get out of here without the fucking dogs going batshit crazy. It's almost 4:00 in the morning, and we have dogs. Our neighbors have dogs, and every once in a while in the middle of the fucking night, they hear some shit and they go fucking crazy. And you'll probably hear the shit in the podcast, and I'm just apologizing to you guys in advance. I'm sorry about that. It's just, I guess it's just the nature of the beast. And like I said, I'll edit it best I can, but you're probably going to hear this shit, and I'm sorry in advance. But anyway, let me continue. I can't let these dogs fuck up the show at the end of the show. But the Final Fantasy 16 stuff it's related to a lot of things when you compare it to Game of Thrones, man. I mean, the evil mom and shit, the evil mother, like who really doesn't give a fuck about her own kids anyway. Like you peeped that day one. Okay. She had a favorite in the beginning, which was the younger child, only because he was the Phoenix. He was gifted with the Phoenix. And so if you weren't that, then you were just shit to her. And even then it was a bunch of shit. If you haven't played the demo, play the demo. Check it out. It's one of the best demos ever made, in my opinion, that I've ever fucking played. They give you so much. But the main thing I wanted to talk about with Final Fantasy 16 is what they actually gave us, or they're giving us in this game. They're giving us so fucking much in this game. This game's replay value is going to be through the fucking roof. They just took everything that most people didn't like about 15, and they fucking cut all that shit out and said, look, we're going to hook this shit up for you guys, and we're going to do it in a great way. We're going to wrap up the story in the game. We're not going to fucking put out DLC and then not even get to finish it, because Final Fantasy 15 had so much DLC, and it had a lot of DLC that never made it to the light of day. They just axed it. So the story is basically just null and void. If you're trying to find out everything and you want to play out the entire story, you're not going to be able to do it. And that's because of all of that DLC that they had planned, and they couldn't even finish it. That's one thing I don't like about DLCs. Okay. It has a potential to get axed because if the game doesn't do well and if the numbers aren't right, man, they could just cut it, So I need my story complete now, and anything you add extra to a game should just be fodder, should just be great stories. Don't get me wrong, but they should be, I'm not saying non-related, but it should make the entire story. In other words, the original game should be able to breathe and live on its own, if that makes any sense. And then anything you add to it, that's just extra whipped cream and cherries, for your cake or for your pie or whatever. But anyway, they're giving us a lot of shit, man, with this. We get a new game plus. That's the biggest thing that excited me. They've announced the new game plus, and on this new game plus, it's called Final Fantasy Mode. And with this Final Fantasy Mode, you get to go out, and everything is, of course, harder, but they're going to have new enemies in different places. Like, so you'll say you went to a place, a level 14 area, and you were out there in your first playthrough. You go out there again in New Game Plus, Final Fantasy Mode, there's a fucking boss there. There's a fucking completely different something there. They've changed it up so much, but they also have something called an Ultimania difficulty, which is after New Game Plus. So once you beat that, you even have a harder mode for that. So you can make this game as hard or as easy as you want. You get so many options with this. I don't even know what to say anymore. There's also a hard time attack mode, guys, and it's another name for it is called Chronolith Trials. So basically it's a time attack mode. You can go out and you can put your shit on a leaderboard and find out, how dope your combos are, what combinations you use, and see who has the best time on the game. So they really want you to get intricate with this combat system here. They're basically just throwing it at you. Okay, this is made from one of the same devs from Devil May Cry. So they're putting in fucking work. Okay, he's also worked on Dragon's Dogma. Let me throw that out there too. So I'm a fan. I'm a fucking fan. And there's a lot of things that go into this game, and those are just two cherries that just make that cake that much sweeter for me personally. Okay. I'm just excited. I'm just over the moon excited about this game. I really am. And they also said that the game was this close to coming and having to be put on 2 discs, but they were able to do it without it. And they said they were happy about that because with 2 discs, manufacturing costs, all these things go up, because we're still getting physical copies of things. And a lot of companies will do that. Like Final Fantasy 7, they're going to do that, and they're not going to trip because they know they're going to sell these games. They're going to sell the fuck out of them. But if you're somebody who's another company and you're a new IP and you don't know what the fuck's going on, you probably don't want to fucking do 2 discs. You probably want to just keep it digital, especially now, because you don't know how much money you may lose off of those discs. There's a lot of things to consider when you're a gaming company and when you have to balance all these fees and all this shit, these fucking dogs again. But anyway, so yeah, it's a lot to take in. But yeah, they said that the game is going to come out at about just over 90 gigs, and that you should at least have 100 gigs of space on your device, okay, on your PlayStation. So definitely keep that in mind, guys, if you're going to get digital, and even if you're going to get physical, because I don't know how much they're going to actually put on this disc. I hope they put most of that shit on the disc. I'm praying that they do, but there's no telling. A lot of companies don't do that now. They'll put 5-10 gigs on there or something, and then you have to download the rest. But we'll see what happens. I hope they're able to put most of it on a disc. Let's see what happens, because there's always day one patches, and they said that also they're going to be addressing the performance mode, because performance mode is 60 frames, and then you have the fidelity mode, which is higher, which is 30 frames, of course, and all that. I always play, if I have a choice, I play in performance mode, and they said the performance mode was kind of moving up and down, and to me, I didn't really notice it like that. That's just me. If they're working on something and trying to make it better, hey, I'm not going to argue with you on that. Go ahead and make that happen. And that's what they said. So they're definitely going to be keeping a tight eye on this game. They know it is very important to a lot of fans. like myself, and this is a new game. This is something so different from what they're typically used to doing, even from the Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff, because you're controlling one character and it's just a different, the emphasis is on the combat. Like, that is the main thing. Managing your fucking cooldowns, putting together combos. And I've seen some awesome combos. I've seen some awesome abilities as well. And I learned something new just earlier when I was watching somebody else play, Maximilian Dude, which is one of my favorite YouTubers. He's a fighting game YouTuber, but Square Enix had him on a podium talking about this game because this is like a fighting gamer's game. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're into fighting games like me, you're really going to especially love this, because it's basically begging you to pick it up and learn combos and not just button mash. You know, you can really put together beautiful chaos, beautifully arranged, treachery and chaos if you know what you're doing and if you know how to work the combos and how to do everything, the cancels and the air combos, and from the air combo down to a ground move and stuff. It's just how you put moves together to make everything count, make every hit, every fucking second count, and to where you never have to stop fighting. Everything you do there's not a wasted button used. Okay. And even including dodges and all of that, all this is woven into a beautiful dance you created, and you're killing and pillaging and pulling out warm butter on all your opponents. I can't fucking wait for this. So it's going to be awesome. And yeah, man, it's a fighting games person's dream. It's an action game, RPG action fan's dream, and that's my favorite genre. So, like I said, so many great reasons to love this, and it'll also pull in other new gamers as well. I think this is going to become a lot of people's favorite Final Fantasy game, believe it or not. Not just for the combat, but I think we're going to get an awesome story because it's taken off like that already. They said that they made everybody, the crew, literally watch Game of Thrones. So for context and some stuff and like I said, they did a great job so far, and I can't wait to see where it goes. And usually, if you've watched Game of Thrones, pretty much every dickhead and asshole and bitch they all got what was coming to them in the end. Everybody got what was coming to them in the end. It may have taken years to do it, but most of them got what was coming to them. So my wish and my hope is that that stays true in this story, because there's a couple people that I would really love to see, suffer already just by playing the demo. And I can't wait to see that through for real. So it's definitely going down. I'm smiling right now because I can't believe it's coming out this week. And there's just so many great games, man. I still have, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm still playing that. And then I'm playing Street Fighter now. It's just crazy, man. It's just great to be a gamer. It's just so good to be a gamer right now. So yeah, it's going down. Anyway, let me talk about the last piece of the puzzle, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about Starfield, okay? The more and more I see about Starfield, let me just say this, let me just keep it real. Guys, I'm going to keep it real 100% with you, okay? I think this is going to be Xbox's next baby, like next big baby, like next game. When you think of Xbox and Microsoft and their games, this is going to be that one. Okay, that's what it's looking like. Now, I can't say for sure. I can't 100% say it for sure yet because the game is not in our hands. We haven't played it yet. But from what they've shown us, and for all the things you can do in this game, it has that potential definitely to be that. And if you're an Xbox player, you should definitely be happy now. This should definitely be a time to stand up and put your chest up and your chin up and just be proud that you have an Xbox. And this is the moment right here. Okay. Straight up. I'm telling you right now, the shit looks fucking breathtaking. I don't know what to say. Even with all the 30 frames per second mumbo jumbo that's going on, and a lot of people are crucifying them still out here. Some of my favorite YouTubers are still in their ass. They're still, talking about warm butters on the table and all these things. But, I'd be lying if I said I'm not going to play it because it's not 60. I'm going to play this game. There's too many things that are fucking awesome and amazing in this game that, I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it. So those people who actually buy the game, they get early access. I think it's by like 5 days. So I think they get to play it on the 1st. So that's going to kill me because I'm like, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. Those 5 days are going to burn because I'm going to see people playing it and talking about it and stuff. And I'm like, I still got to wait 5 days. But it's all good. It's free. I'll wait 5 days gladly, and save myself $70, $75. Why not do that? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I'll be playing something else until then. That's all that'll be. But I can't wait for this. This is going to be, I think this is going to be that game. And I say that because, like I said, if you didn't watch the direct that they had, the Starfield direct, it's like 45 minutes long and it's extensive and they talk about a lot of shit, and it would get any gamer excited, especially people who, used to play the Bethesda games, the older Bethesda games like the Fallout games. It's just amazing. It takes me back to like Fallout New Vegas, which is my favorite Fallout game. And I loved all of them, to be honest. The only thing this game is missing is the VAT system. And, that's fine. It's trying to do its own thing here. And they give you the option, third person, first person view. That's very, very important to me in these type of games, guys. Just being able to go into space and do your own thing. There's just so many things you can do. You can assemble your own crew. You can build your own resources. You can become a pirate if you want to. You can go out and rob people's ships, or you can board them in a friendly manner as well, and make trades and do things like that. You can steal ships. You have actually up to 9 ships that you can have at your disposal at any time. So you can go steal a ship if you like it, or you can just build your own, and have your own different ships for different things. And you can favorite your one that you want to usually always kind of default to when you want to just move around and do things. So, of course you can make a battleship for, mainly battle and space combat and taking over people's stuff. And then you can have ones for, exploring or smuggling or anything like that. You can become a smuggler. You can be anything you want. It's like Star Wars. It's literally like Star Wars, with guns. And you can, if you want to get physical, they have physical weapons too. I mean, you can even literally go out and start beating people up with your fists, and you can spec into that. They've shown gameplay on that. Like, it's just so many different things. It's like 5 games into one. Like, you can do so many things. It's like over 1,000 planets you can visit. Okay. In different solar systems. Earth is one of those planets, and you get to find out what happened to Earth and why it is what it was and why it is like that now. And so many other things. You can join different factions. You can probably create your own. I'm a nomad. I'm going to go out here and just take what I want to take and build what I want to build. And when I say the customization and building has just really got me excited, it really does. The ships in itself, that's ridiculous. But also how you furnish your place. When you build a room or you build a loft or whatever you want to do, you can put chairs, you can put a fucking mat on the floor, you can put beds, you can put what kind of beds you want, kind of tables, sinks. Like, you're literally decking out everything in here, wherever this place is, on your ship or just out and about on planets. You know what I'm saying? Your own bases and stuff. This is crazy. You can grow stuff. I mean, you can build up your own empire, so to speak. If you can do it the legal way, the friendly way, or you can go out and just take it, which is probably going to be the most fun to do. Go out here, take what you want to take, and then, of course, recruit people who you want to recruit. If you want to start love interest with these people, you can do that. There's people you can take out on the field with you, like your robot, your android, and other ones as well, if you like to. Or you could leave some who are gifted in certain things, and leave them and have them do certain jobs. And of course, the higher that their ranking is in that field, the better that you're gonna do whatever with what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get more resources, and this person is good for that, then of course you want him on the ground doing that. And you come back every so often, and you're getting resources. It's kind of like residual income. You just keep it coming and keep it coming, and before you know it, you can buy whatever you want. You can buy your own ships, you can get your own parts, your own fucking guns and all that. I can't wait. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited about this game either. Like, it's a completely different flavor than Final Fantasy, and that's cool. That's what games should be. And but it's still equally as fun. And that game is a game that you can literally play for years probably. And they've already got a DLC in the works. They've already got an expansion coming. Okay, called Shattered something. I forgot what it was called, but yes, they're already they know this game is huge. They know this game is going to be big, and they're going to be putting a lot of eggs in this basket and doing a lot of things with this franchise. I think Starfield is going to be, like I said, a beginning of something beautiful for Microsoft. Finally, it's been a long fucking time. All right, and I'm a Sony guy at heart. If I'm being real, if I had to pick one, we all know this. We've had this discussion, guys. I'm a Sony guy first, but this game right here, this is going to sell some Xboxes. Okay, Keeping it real. It's going to sell a lot of Xboxes, and it's going to be something special. It's going to sell a lot of Game Pass subscriptions. Okay. They know what they're doing. They're going to get people to get that subscription. And you can't just play this for 1 month. Oh yeah, I'm going to cancel in 1 month. No, you're not. Because you have these plants that you're trying to go farm. You have this gun that you really want. You have this, this guy that you really ran into and you hate and you can't stand, and you're going to go hunt him down and kill him and everybody that's associated with him. You have all these things that you want to do, and they're going to be pulling you at all angles in this game. And that's the type of game this is. Kind of like how Tears of the Kingdom is with me. Like, I play Tears of the Kingdom like pretty much every other day or every day almost. And I play it in bits. Like, I'll say, okay, today I'm going to do this. Today I'm going to go farm this. Or today I want this sword. I want these bows. I'm going to go after that. It's just, you do what you want when you want and how you want to do it. And then some days I say, I just want to go bitch people. I just want to go punk people. I want to go Debo some people. Let me go over here and test my might. I've got all these fairies. I've got all this shit. So, you can't kill me. Let's see what you guys got. And it's just a blast, so take that same recipe and put it into Starfield. I'm a grinder in any RPG I play anyway. I grind my ass off. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Final Fantasy. I'm going to go pick some areas. Okay. I'm going to go and I'm going to just grind my ass off and get really strong. And then, do my thing. Cause I definitely see myself doing the new game plus on this one. Okay. Definitely. So I don't know. It's just so many great things happening. And September 6th is it's literally not that far away. It's right around the fucking corner, guys. It's so close. It's just a really good year to be a gamer now. Finally, I can say that, man. Every time I turn around, there's something out here. And there's other games too that I'd like to get and fuck with, that I eventually will end up playing as well. That I just, like I said, just isn't gonna have the time for right now, which is the AEW wrestling game. I really want to play that, So hopefully, Black Friday or something like that. Hey, I can pick it up for like $20-$30. Boom. That's another game. Me and my son right there. We got it. There's, the little indie game beat 'em ups, like the new Double Dragon game, that's supposed to come out sometime, hopefully before the summer's over with. You can grab that, play that. One other delay I wanted to mention real quick, a game that I was really interested in and I had almost forgotten about, a game by the name of, what is it called? Flintlock, FLINTLOCK. Okay, this game was delayed. It was supposed to come out this year. Matter of fact, it was supposed to come out like around this time. Okay, I think around this time it's supposed to drop. And then we just got some new information. They have delayed this game until 2024. And that's all we know. We don't know anything else. But the game looked pretty good. It's a third-person action RPG. Okay, it involves magic, spells, and shit that you have at your disposal. Also, you have a axe and that you wield and a fucking pistol. Okay, and you had this weird kind of fox, this talking fox that kind of ran with you. It was really cool looking, man. It looks pretty dope. It looks like a AA game, but a really good one. Something that's going to put this team on the map for sure when it does come out. And I understand that they had to postpone it, and that's fine. And it's also a game that was going to be free day one on Game Pass. So that's another plus. Like I said, Game Pass is looking good, guys. It's really. I have nothing bad to say about Game Pass. There's a lot of people who, yes. Microsoft has its faults, especially when it comes to the first party stuff, man. And, a lot of people are salty about the 30 frames per second, which is not that, which is going to be on Starfield. It's not going to have 60 frames day one. That's another thing that people are going to have a problem with. And they did say, the reason behind that is they wanted everything right now, as it states, to be as smooth as possible. Now, they said they could take it to 60 frames, but the game is huge. And I don't think these systems could handle it unless you're talking about PC, to be totally honest. But if they did do it, they need more time, in which they said that they were eventually going to do at a later date. Hopefully that's true, because there's been times where companies have said that and it didn't happen, okay, for whatever reason. But hopefully that happens. They said that, they wanted to have that headroom and keep everything locked. So they making it seem like confidently the game will be locked at 30, okay? And they have headroom on the systems and the power of the Xboxes and stuff to keep it at locked that way. That way, if something happens, they'll never have to worry about it going down because they have that headroom. And then they can take the time now and focus on getting everything at a stable 60, which it'll probably never be at a stable 60, but close to it, if possible. On the consoles for sure. So we'll see what happens. I guess, once you play a few hours of it, to be honest with you guys, it won't matter. I don't think it'll matter because most people who play this game are going to be playing this game for a long time and hours at a time. And, you know, your eyes will get adjusted to the 30 frames, I think, and it won't be such a big deal. If that's, you know, if I'm being honest, I kind of go through the same thing with Zelda. Like, to me, you know, when I play Zelda, my eyes get fixated on that, and I'm not worried about 60 frames. It's not a big deal to me. It's cool, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you get drops in that game. You know, you might drop to 24, 25 frames sometimes, and, you know, very rare, but it happens. And so that's just what comes with the territory. Is it going to deter me from putting down the game and say, no, I'm not fucking with it? No, it's not. If the game is fun and awesome, you're going to fucking play it. That's just what it is. And I understand people have preferences. Trust me, we all do. But don't lie to yourself and say that you're not going to play this game when you know in every fiber in your being wants to play this shit. And let's leave it at that. I think that's going to do it for the show, though. I think I've bled the block long enough. But hopefully you guys got all you needed out of this show right here, and everything went well. I think it did. I think we had a good show. I also think we have a lot to look forward to. So I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited for myself. I'm excited for Xbox fans, man, who only have an Xbox, and that finally they have a game I think that they can really, really look forward to, even though Game Pass is awesome. I just say, hey, man, everything's got a place. Every game console has a place. It does. And I go through cycles all the fucking time. Okay. I haven't played my Xbox in a while since Wulong Fallen Dynasty. I won't see it again until maybe July or something. I may, like I said, I'm supposed to put it in dev mode. My son's supposed to come over here and show me how to do it. Hopefully I can wait, because if it takes too long, I'm going to end up trying to do it myself, but hopefully I can just wait. I got plenty of things to keep me busy, but he's going to help me put it in dev mode so I can play some like PlayStation 2 games and some other console games, some older retro stuff. Cause you know, I'm a retro fan too. So we're going to test that out and do that. And then, try to hit that backlog, you know, in July sometime, a little bit of that. And then play some Division a little bit in July. So that's kind of what I'm looking like. I don't know what else. Anything can happen though, guys. We can get announcements. There's some Dragon Ball stuff coming. The Dragon Ball DLC, we still don't know when it's coming. I did also catch a little bit of, they had some new trailers for the Ninja Storm 4 game that's coming out. That looks awesome. They added some new characters, you know, Jigen and some other cats. So looking forward to that as a Naruto fan. So yeah, man, there's a lot of things going, and we'll see, man, when we get to it. But that's going to do it for the show. I want to thank everybody for listening, downloading, streaming, all of that shit, guys. We do this every Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. And I'll see you guys next week. Also, check out and show love to your boy's YouTube channels and his TikToks. I have, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, guys, check out DragonBallDrip.com. Check out the Dragon Ball TikTok, which is growing. Check out the Dragon Ball Facebook page. Okay, there's so many things you can do to show support for that. And then, of course, check out my YouTube channel, Random Gameplay Pimpin'. There, I got the podcast I drop on there. Usually at the end of the week, the podcast that you're hearing now is usually there. So you can check that out there if you want. But also game discussions. I dropped a couple game discussion videos here recently. One talking about Final Fantasy 16, and another one I think I just dropped tonight talking about Starfield. So I'm going to be doing more discussion videos and clips of the show on there as well. So there's a lot of things on that channel to look forward to. So definitely show some love and go ahead and subscribe over there, baby. It's easy. Pick your phone up, go Random Gameplay Pimpin', subscribe, bang, you got it. You feel me? So all of that, yeah, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Gonna edit this up real quick and give it to you. Okay. I love you guys so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for all the comments, and just thank you for being a part of the Random Gameplay Pimpin' family. You know, I appreciate you guys. I really do. With that being said, I'm out. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver. And this is Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.